Hey, what up? Good morning. James Rice. Wednesday, hump day, 22nd, almost done with spring, heading into summer, halfway past, no, halfway, a week past the halfway point of the month. So let's chat a little bit, give people a couple minutes here to jump on. We'll chat a little bit about friendship. We'll chat a little bit about spring cleaning. We'll chat a little bit about some questions and some thoughts that have come my way that I'm going to share with you, simply hoping that your day, not only your day, but that your pursuit of happiness, your pursuit of, I'd say, fulfillment, not just happiness, higher level, deeper fulfillment is something that I'll help equip you to pursue. And remember, the funny, important thing for me is I'm not just going to jump on here and shout at you that you were made for more and that you could be better and you need to just do it and you need to suck it up and you need to forget the past. As far as I'm concerned, many of your AM gurus do. What I want to do is give you some thoughts and then give you some tools, some relationships, some partnerships, some support to get you into action. Case in point with that is a person can say, hey, you just need to go to the gym, you just need to start, you just need to do it. And for lots of us, there's underlying reasons why we don't. Do we stop and pause, have a discussion with someone who is more equipped to help us uncover some of those triggers, those hangups. And then when we get in the game, this is one of my favorites I talk about all the time. When we get in the game, do we try to do it ourselves? And again, you don't do that with your children. You don't just say, here, go learn. You got a teacher. You wouldn't say, here, just go to Sunday school, grab the Bible and study. They got teachers. They don't go practice Monday through Friday just by themselves. They've got a coach. More importantly, are you checking out the clouds behind me? Is this an unbelievably beautiful sky this morning? So I hope that you'll join me on the journey as I work daily on my faith, fitness, family, friendships, and finances to elevate them to levels that I can move and through the day with a certain level of, I want to say comfort and security, but believe me, I'll be the first one to tell you tomorrow's guaranteed to no one. So, but to have a certain level of comfort and security, that if I didn't work out today, my fitness level is there. If I didn't work out today or work, I have a savings account. I have friends that I can rely on. I have a faith and I have a pastor and I have a team that I could go to with, questions and for prayer. So do you have that team around you? That'd be a question for today. Do you have that, that team around you? So let's share a couple of my thoughts from this morning. My Rice and Shine thought for the day. Here's on my phone. I think it was this one. Sometimes we're tested not to show our weaknesses, but to discover our strengths. First of all, the first thing that hits me is that's perspective. That's just how do we want to see it. And the funny thing in our lives, and I always think about, one second, let me get rid of this call. The first thing that comes to my mind is people's hobbies. People will run into challenges in their hobbies that's going to take more time than they thought. It's going to delay them. It's going to cost more money than they thought. And we generally speaking, we'll pitch money at it. We'll pitch time at it, with a little bit of, I've got to do it. But with a general sense of, it's where I want to go, therefore I'm going to do it. And I want you to remember that that's simply a choice. That's just perspective. And that you can do that with anything. And that what I would hope you do is narrow down where you want to be. It's funny, I was talking to a friend yesterday, and talking about what people do. And actually, a friend before that was talking to me and saying, hey, you're probably not going to get a hold of so-and-so because they're off at a conference, at a not even a business conference. It was an event. It was a fun gathering event, social, for their hobby. And so they said, you probably won't be able to get home. It says, like when you go to Vegas, you know, you're involved and you're out and you're partying, you're drinking, and you're got this stuff going on, and so you just can't be distracted. I said to myself, that's exactly where you're at, and that's exactly where you're at, and that's why you're broke. Because when you express focuses that you can't be distracted on, for many of us, it's our hobbies. And to me, your hobbies provide fun and entertainment, but for most of us and many of us, it simply provides a wall, a barrier, a bridge to keep people from really seeing who we are and how broken we are, and for ourselves to keep from addressing that brokenness. You know, if you sat down with a handful of your friends and you said, what do you want out of your life? What would you like to be doing? You know what most of them say? They'd like to be retired. They don't enjoy their career. They would, you know, we're talking about finances. They would like a little more cash at the end of the month. They would like to be a little bit prepared for retirement. Ask them about their fitness. They want to drop 30 or 40 pounds. They like to have a little more strength and tone, a little more energy, a little less pain, a little better sleep. Ask them about their relationship. They'd like to have their relationship, their date, their marriage be like it was when they first met. They'd like to have a tighter relationship with their children, have their children respect them a little bit more. And they'd like to go to church. They'd like to get up, they'd like to explore their faith. I need to dig back into church. And the last one, the sixth one, is they would like to clean their garage. But when you take a look at what they're spending their time on, those aren't a match. Those aren't a match. Why? Because many times the work that it takes is a lot more. And I would tell people that it's actually not a lot more. In their minds, it's a lot more. And so they go over to their hobbies. I got for creepers, don't name any names. I got a friend right now. He's been going from job to job. I know he doesn't have a career. Got into his new job, and right away he's got a truck that he's bought that's got some ridiculous lift on it. Okay, I'd like to see his savings account. It's none of my business, but I know what you'll hear him bitching about is that budget and that money and that savings and that retirement. So why aren't we putting our time and energy into that? And I'm not saying I've done it all right, but if you know me, you'll see that I spend a lot of time on my work, my faith, mending relationships, and my fitness, and hitting my faith, as I said. So why do we choose to spend time on our hobbies? And if we do, then why do we expect that our faith, fitness, family, friendships, and finances would be dialed? They're not going to be. You can't have them both. You can't have them both. So I'd encourage you to make sure you find some sit-down time and some quiet time and decide what you want. And then what you're willing to give up, though I don't look at it that way, what you're willing to give up to get it. And so that's a piece that was expressed to me today. And it's funny how when people are involved in their hobbies and such, they can't be disturbed. But they'll break away and make exceptions from their dreams, their faith. They'll make exceptions of why they can't reach that, why they're not spending time with their partner, why they're not spending time on their business, why they're not switching careers. You know, and for many of us, it's like, I'm not going to go from 75 or 100,000 back to 40 to start over again. I did. Many of you don't know. When I got into the mortgage business, I was in fitness. This is 20 years ago, making $50,000 a year, which may not sound like a lot, but it was good back then. And my next step was 75, and the step after that was about 120. So I could see money. But I didn't want to be in that career. Fortunately, I didn't have squat. I didn't have a car payment, rented a little place, and I didn't have any credit card bills. So I could make that switch back to $30,000 a year if I needed to, and I did. And that's why I switched into mortgage. I was ready to jump in there and make $100,000 tomorrow. My general manager said, well, here's where I believe you should start. You need to learn about the process, escrow, title, processing, putting together a solid file. That's going to prepare you to leapfrog and move further faster in your career. He was making $250,000 a year. Who was I to ask? He was my mentor. He was my leader. I did what he said. Got teased, made fun of daily. Got a college career making $15 an hour. That's right. I made $30,000 my first year as a processor. Or actually my first 6 months. So I made $15,000. So anyway, but that's what he said I should do. And so I did that. And I took the teasing and I took the laughs and the snickering behind my back. But 6 months into it, I knew the basics. I knew the backbone of the business. And then I could take that and move forward. Junior loan officer, so that next year, $75,000, and it was off from there. So my point in the piece I'm saying to you is, make some quiet time to decide with your spouse, where do you two want to be? And then, do you need help getting there? Get it. Decide in your budget where you want to be. Make the tough decision. I run right now with the only car payment I have, Prove It pays for. I had 2 vehicles that were paid for, and then one that Prove It paid for. I just decide to live a little more conservatively. And I, have my fitness scheduled into my life. And I have my food scheduled into my life. And if I want to eat a little something extra, I starve myself a little bit more. So make sure that you're deciding what's important to you and making the time for it. Is it easier to go buy a new handbag, lift your truck, get a new gun, tell your friends about it, a fishing pole or stuff? It sure is. But then you're always chasing and doing and putting things out there that you're wanting to get encouraged for, because that's where your self-esteem is. My self-esteem is not in my muscles, not in my house, not in my money. It's in what I can create and who I can serve and who I can bring along with me. Who can I start a conversation and say, once upon a time I flunked out of college. Once upon a time I didn't talk to my dad. Once upon a time I didn't see my daughter. Once upon a time I was divorced. Once upon a time I had a 580 FICO score. Once upon a time I had $40 in my pocket. And I can share with you what I did. Step into my office. So I want to share that idea and understand that it's perspective about whether or not these challenges are testing you. Another piece we're chatting about this month that I'm reading about in daily is friendship. And so, it's the 22nd. Just a quick note on friendship, and what they said was, and this is an important one, and this is an important one for me, and they're talking about words and just how important words are. So remember that as you move through today. Are you using words that encourage? Because these words fill us inwardly. And do they fill us with good things? Okay? So that evil speech that we hear and that we say ourselves, it's going to fill us inward. And the funny thing is, whoever you listen to, David Goggins, Tony Robbins, Ed Millett, what, blah, blah, blah. James Rice, blah, 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 even more. But way before they even said it, it's right here in Proverbs, talking about words, okay? So it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be honest about your feelings when you're talking to people, okay? But you want to make sure those words are coming out of a desire to help and to change, not to ridicule and damage. Because those words should not be in anger, discouragement, or temptation. Managing our speech is a way to get our whole self under control. So ponder that. I don't know what you're reading, but I like to read a little and then apply a lot. Read a little and apply a lot. A couple other thoughts real quick. I'm going to let you go. Just finished the reboot. Why reboot? I'd like to show you my abs. That's why. Why reboot? Metabolic reset, sugar cravings, get a little hungry, suppress my appetite, easy keto adaptation. Here's the important thing we got on here. Robin Farley, connect. Let's do something crazy. Brian Stubblefield, long time no chat. Connect. Let's talk shop. How can I help you? Roger Yoder, I love you to death. Appreciate you every single day. So, metabolic reboot. So I'm doing it for my fitness, but I'm also doing it, and this is where I really want to talk to the Prove It crew and community, and especially the leaders. You say, did you reboot? Why? You know what I saw a gentleman say on a message, said, hey, I've done a 24-hour, but I don't think I'm ready for 60. I'm not sure why he thinks that. I wonder who he talked to and asked about the 60-hour reboot. Because number one, majority of the people I talked to said, yeah, you get a little hungry, but prove it's giving you the ketones to sustain you. Number one. Number two, and I tell people this all the time. If you need to eat, as far as I'm concerned, if you need to eat a little, cheat a little, whatever you want to call it a little, so that you reboot 95%, you'll be way ahead of the game. Way ahead of the game versus not doing it. You know, if you go into the gym every single day or do some fitness every single day to the 95% of your ability, if you pushed into your relationship, your marriage to 95% of your ability, if you pushed into your faith to 95% of your ability, if you pushed into your friendships and your relationships to 95% of your ability, you would be unbelievable. And many of those things that we're talking about, we don't do that. But if we can't do the reboot 100%, we don't do it. And we're not even like this gentleman's not even trying it. You know what I say this all the time. You know what we'd say to our kids? You know what we'd say to our kids if they said, I don't think I can do it? We would just never allow that. I don't think I could do this, do that, try this, we'll go with this, here, go there. Do it, try it, son. You'll never learn to do it if you don't try it. If you don't make it, at least you tried. But we don't tell ourselves as adults. I don't know why. I'd like to tell myself I do it every single day. I'm trying to grow these flowers. Some are taking a crap. I'm trying to work on my fitness. Struggling to lose weight. I am down to like under 210. Woo woo! 222 down to 210. Loving it. Thank you very much. Have a little, in my proof business, throw up a Zoom, throw up a live, throw up a tasting party. If I did all of those to 95% of my ability, my business will blossom and bloom and grow. So the power of the reboot, leaders, that many, I'm just going to say, didn't do, is that you're opening the opportunity for others to be better. To me personally, people are either going to jump off or love me. If you're not doing the reboot, you're doing it for be thinking about what you can do or not do or how it's going to work for you. And that's not what leadership's about. It's not what leadership's about. It's about doing and setting up and showing others so that they'll do it. Because again, if I've got a whole crew and community of people using ketones, which I have, you'll make a very good living. If I've got then add that to a whole bunch of people that are doing the reboot, now I've got more community, I've got more fellowship, I've got more support. I've actually got more business because they're buying another box. It's good for their health, it's good for your community. Do the reboot every month to the best of your ability. Why? Because it's not about you, it's not about you, it's not about you. It's about you leading. And the funny thing is, I know you do it with your kids. I know that you do. I'm going to do it so they'll do it. I'm going to do it so I show them how. I'm going to do it so I set the example. Do it with your community. The reboot is a nice monthly gathering. We do it together, build fellowship, test themselves a little bit, build their strength, build their inner determination and will, plus the physical benefits. Do it. That. Talked about Vegas. Talked about the gentleman who didn't think they could do the reboot. And like I said, if you need to do the reboot and you need a little snack at night to get you through it, do it. I think we're good. I'm going to play the piano. It's my day off of fitness. It was Wednesday. Questions, comments, thoughts. I've already said it. If you like it, share it. If you want to grow, you want me to help you impact your team, let's Zoom. Anything I help you with personally, you got to contact me. So, have an amazing Wednesday. I hope that you found value. And let's, look forward to doing it again. Peace.